Change the name. Change the logo. Rebrand Washington football. Change the name. Change the logo. Rebrand Washington football. All right.
Imagine your child, your kid, goes to school. Somebody says, "Ha ha, you're just a Redskin. I saw you. Your team lost. That's all you are." And imagine that, equating that to bullying, because it's a continuous process. It's been going on. It's bullying. There's laws against bullying now. It lowers a child's self-esteem. The American Psychological Association has shown that, it's proven that, but you don't have to be a psychologist to know that when you're being bullied. When somebody's making fun of you all the time because of what you look like, your race, color of your skin.
Here's a quote from a Native American parent at the focus group. She says, "The use of derogatory and stereotypical caricatures used to falsely depict Native Americans hold an eerie resemblance to the caricature-like pictures of people with exaggerated facial features used in old Nazi propaganda newspapers, which were used to influence and incite negative public opinion and thus the dehumanization of Jewish people. I know what she is talking about. I am Jewish, and to me the mascot in a helmet is like putting a swastika on a helmet. It has to stop."
We're here again this year to continue to show that this name has got to change, and I think this movement continues to grow. On October 24th, I was in Minneapolis to join the protests when the Washington team played the Minnesota Vikings. There was over 1,000 people there that were continuing to make the charge that this name has got to change. So we keep up the fight. I appreciate the petitions.
Rather, they are contributing to the discrimination against Native Americans across the nation by continuing to use a documented racial slur and beheaded character of a Native person to profit at the expense of our exploration. Before we leave here, we must all remember that Washington football team is not the only sports team guilty of negatively impacting Native communities. With me being a mixed youth, with me being black and Native, these mascots are just a barrier to my everyday living. Either one side of me gets erased because I don't look Native, I don't look like a mascot, or I'm constantly told that I'm not Native because of these mascots.
To stand up against the racist name and offensive mascot, you have clung your dismal descent to loserdom to, for what? To say Indians are there for us? For non-natives to take their culture, assuming their culture does not exist? So therefore we must take ownership of their offense and the trademark, and then to trademark their image is so important, and hopes that it goes out to everyone who is listening and everyone who cares about Native Americans. We are still here. We are still people and not mascots.
Rather than honoring Native peoples, these caricatures and stereotypes are harmful, perpetuate negative stereotypes of America's first people, and contribute to a disregard for the personhood of Native peoples.
My grandparents held that season ticket account all the way through the rest of their lives. My dad held on to it through the 80s, 90s, and I took over in the early 2000s. I closed out my season ticket account in 2016. I wrote a letter to Mr. Snyder in the ticket office explaining why I was going to have to discontinue the account. It made me sad to give up the season tickets after all those years, but I wasn't alone. As Mary said, you have acres of empty seats in that place now, and a lot of people are getting the message. The team popularity appears to be somewhat declining, so I think a lot of that has to do with mascots.
As long as this team is using an offensive, demeaning name and speaking and supposedly in our name representing our city, it is our right, I believe, and our obligation to tell Dan Snyder to change the name. Change the name. Let's hear, change the name.
Change the name.
And it's stated in the article that the red-skinned, blood-soaked bodies are worthless. Leave them where they lie. That is not honoring us. That is disrespecting us in the most ignorant way possible as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a blood-soaked dead body. I'm a real person. I'm a human being. And all this is about is respect. Respect for us as human beings, and that we are more than what the Constitution of this country brands us to be. Understand that we are real people. I am a real human being. This is about respect, respect, respect.